Hello. These notes should help with the little tricky parts of solving inequalities. So the first half of our notes just point out that order matters in an inequality. In an equation, if I have x equals 3, that's the same as 3 equals x. But when I have an inequality, the order matters. It changes the meaning of the inequality. So it's helpful if you have the variable first, the inequality in the middle, and the constant or the plain number on the right-hand side. And that's really the most helpful when you're graphing your answer, which you will have to do on the test. So here's the little phrase or stupid Cooper or silly thing that you can remember. If you flip-flop the order of the inequality, you must flip-flop the symbol too. So what that means is over here in this example. If I get the answer, if I do my math and I get 3 on the left-hand side and I get 3 is less than x, if I want to rewrite it in the order that Mrs. Cooper said above, then I need to do x is greater than 3, which sounds sort of silly, but it makes sense when you use numbers that you already understand. If I tell you that 11 is greater than 8, that also means that 8 is less than 11. So whenever we switch the order, right, if we put this one first, then we also have to flip the inequality symbol to make the statement true. So anytime you have an inequality and you have it like this and you want to rewrite it with the variable first, make sure you flip-flop that inequality symbol so that the statement is true. The second important key with solving inequalities is that there's this one major difference. You follow the exact same steps that you would for an equation, except for anytime you multiply or divide by a negative, then you have to flip the inequality symbol to make the statement true. So you are going to follow all the same steps for solving equations, unless you happen to multiply or divide by a negative, and then you'll flip the inequality sign. So we're going to do an example and see if that helps us. We are going to follow these steps. We're first going to isolate the variable, which means solve, get x by itself. So let's do that first. I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to get the x's on the same side, and I'm going to pick on the little guy. Since this negative 3x is negative, I'm going to add 3x to both sides. And when I do that, my 3x's become 0, and that leaves me with 5. And then see how I wrote equals? It's not really equals, it's a less than or equal to, right? I'm following the same steps as equations, but this one has an inequality symbol. 5 is less than or equal to 13 plus 4x. So now I have the x is on the right-hand side. I need to move the constants to the left-hand side. So I'm going to subtract 13 from both sides. And that's going to give me negative 8 is less than or equal to 4x. And so now I have my constants on one side and my variables on the other. I need to isolate x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And when I do that, I get negative 2 is less than or equal to x. So that was my first step. Step 1, isolate the variable and solve. Done. Totally did it. Step 2 is to check the order. So do I have the variable first when I got my answer? And the answer is no, I don't have it first. So I need to flip-flop. So I need to put the x first. And if I switch the order, then I need to switch the direction of my inequality. So this says negative 2 is less than or equal to x. That means that x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So I solved, I checked the order, and I did need to flip-flop it, so I did. And so now that I have my answer, I'm going to go to my number line. I'm going to write some numbers here, 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. And my solution was negative 2. So I'm going to circle negative 2 on my number line. And I'm going to draw an arrow to where the numbers are greater than negative 2. This is where they're greater. They're all bigger than that. Also, a little hint, is when you put x first, you can draw the arrow in the direction of the inequality symbol. Since it's a greater than or equal to, I'm going to draw it to the right. That strategy only works if you write x first. All right, so I circled the number on the number line. It was a closed circle because it was equal to, right? So this one, whenever it has the line underneath it, it's a closed circle. And then I drew an arrow in the direction of the inequality symbol. So those are the steps to solving an inequality. I'm going to stop for a second so that you can get these notes taken down. You can pause the video. Let's see if I can frame it better. Okay. And also here's this page.